So let's jump into the North Face a little bit, right? So when I was looking at the data for the North Face, you guys saw a massive spike during your Gucci collaboration, right? So the collaboration with Gucci. You also mentioned the collaboration that you did with Supreme. Is that
Mhm.
talk to me a little bit about this idea of brand collaboration. Again, you talked about Nike and Apple, right? That seems to be something that you invest in quite heavily. Is that something that has been increasing over time for you? Is it kind of stable over time? And what is it about those kind of brand collaborations that you seem to be attracted to?
Yeah, sure. So one of the unique things about the North Face is that it's probably the only outdoor brand right now, like I would say one of the very few athletic brands like Nike and Adidas that has a really strong performance
Mm,
anchor as an outdoor brand, but also has a deep resonance with street and youth culture. It started, in New York in the 80s, with a lot of musicians and artists using North Face outerwear product to, frankly,
yep.
survive the winter. In New York, that created that deep connection. And so when you look at collaboration, my belief has always been that a successful collaboration is a collaboration that needs to align the company's values while adding new dimensions to both companies. So the North Face has a long history of collaboration. And when I joined the team, one of the things we wanted to do is to be very careful about how we would approach collaboration moving forward, to reduce the number of partners, to increase the quality and the depth of relationship. Supreme and North Face have been collaborating for years. It's a really symbiotic, relationship. We work really well with that team. They understand the brand. They're curators of the brand, which has been always really fun to leverage. I think when we came to Gucci and when we started to connect with Gucci, the first question was, why would the brand work together? Do we have this? Do we have common values? And it was really exciting. And I know Robert Trifus was with you,
Yeah.
recently as well. Robert, I've done an incredible job at bringing, a Gucci dimension to, a North Face dimension. Clearly, the North Face is an outdoor brand. We care, obviously a lot about the environment and sustainability. Gucci has really high standard around sustainability as well, which was quite exciting. And then obviously our brand and our mantra is never stop exploring. It's about bringing new people into the world of exploration. And the Gucci team took that inspiration through the lens of creativity, but also in celebrating and bringing new people into the world of the outdoors. So the collaboration, we felt the values were really aligned. Then it became about, okay, what stories do we tell? And with Gucci was the first collaboration and campaign that we did. What we ended up doing is going back to the archive of some of our very first product ever created in the 70s, and the very first catalog that we did. And Alessandro, their creative director, really liked that 70s, authentic, camping vibe and took these iconic original product from the North Face and added the magic, Gucci
Yeah.
twist to it. So much so, even if you think about what we did with, the soundtrack of the film that was created, the Creedence Clearwater Revival, was actually the band that their rehearsing studio was right next to North Face's very first store in
Oh,
Berkeley, and they were coming and performing in the store. And so it was a beautiful exercise of curations to celebrate the two brands coming together and celebrating the history of the North Face with a fresh perspective from Gucci. And I think it's important when we do collaboration that the two brands have similar values, have common objectives, and expand from each other reach as well.
yeah, absolutely. It's interesting to observe as well, because we pay a lot of attention to these collaborations, right? Because we have actually been seeing them increase in frequency and impact overall. And one of the things that Robert talked about in his interview was that, when he meets with a publisher now, he goes, guys, I love you, but we're actually a bigger publisher than you are now, right? Like Gucci, the brand, has a larger footprint as a publisher than almost all publishers in the world. Similar thing for the North Face. And so, yeah, it's just, it's a fascinating topic to see how that changes over time, right? Um,
Yeah, the world of publishing is really interesting. In the world of outdoors, obviously the ability for us to reach our community directly, based on the platform that we have, is quite significant. To Robert's point, we can go directly and in mass with consumers very effectively. We believe that publishing is still very important for us, particularly when it comes to reaching very specific communities. That that are focused on one specific activity or environment as well. So we think that it's the publishing world is going to continue to be really important for us, but we do have now the ability to engage with our consumer one to one at scale, based on the platforms and the reach that we have, which is making the media landscape very dynamic and quite
Yeah, it's
exciting.
this weird blend of like publishing, customer service, community building, and again, the ability to connect just directly with your customers in a way that you couldn't previously.